We just listened through Motionless in White's brand new Scoring the End of the World album. Now we are going to review it. We're going to take turns telling our thoughts and then take turns telling our ratings. So I do want to say first, before Jordan goes, I think Scoring the End of the World, that title for an album, I think it's a really cool title. I like that, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Now, Jordan will go. Go ahead. What are your thoughts?
All right. That's pretty good. Compared to Infamous, right off the back, it is definitely way more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely mixed more of the sound together instead of having a bunch of songs that were all over the place and like all different kind of vibes going on. They kind of more mix the sound together, and that definitely helped out. Definitely felt a lot quicker pace, and it didn't feel like it dragged at any point, which was pretty good. There was definitely a couple songs that weren't as good as the others, but it wasn't anything that was bad or that like ruined the album or anything.
Yeah.
Definitely the first like two, I think the first three songs, Meltdown, Sign of Life, no.
Yeah, the first full
probably
half.
Just
first full half of the
pretty much
album
the
was
whole
the
first
strongest.
half was really good. I did like that Burned at Both Ends and BF, BTG, and Cyberhex. That was a good run of songs right there.
Yeah.
I definitely probably could have put maybe Cyberhex as the ending song.
Yeah, that would have made. I feel like that could have made more sense. It was had a strong ending on the song itself, like a very, and it was like very like positive kind of vibe to it.
I don't know. This album feels like there's gonna be like a deluxe edition or something with a couple more songs,
right?
And there's probably gonna be like probably a better ending song than that in some way. But we'll get to that whenever it comes. But the mix was really, really good. I like that not all the songs sounded like exactly the same. They kind of changed the mix up a little bit depending on the vibe of the song, which definitely helped accentuate the differences in the songs, other than having a lot of songs that just sound pretty much the same.
Yeah, like I said, Cyberhex had that very industrial sound of the drums.
Yeah, pretty much all the songs had like a different kind of vibe or a different kind of like identity to it, which was really good. Like drums, I'd say the drums were kind of weak at some points. Like they weren't like super high in the mix or like super focused on, which except during like maybe during the breakdowns the most, like Slaughterhouse and stuff, where they add like the reverse snares and stuff. Other than that, like the guitars and the bass was all pretty good. I definitely heard the bass pretty much throughout the whole thing. There was one solo. I think there was two solos, but I think there was one solo.
Yeah, there was two solos. There was from Werewolf, and I think it was either Cause of Death or no, it was either Cause of Death or We Become the Night. One of those. There was two like 80s, very 80s sounding.
Yeah.
Somewhere on there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. Definitely the guitars were pretty loud in the mix throughout most of the album, so that's pretty good. And definitely, I think the star of the album was mostly the vocals. And like the synth and the layering.
Yeah, there was tons
vocals are
of electronics. Yeah. But his range was like, he did a lot of different stuff on here. Like
Yeah,
a
not
lot.
even just screaming, like singing too.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a lot
Mm-hmm.
of falsetto and like Breaking Benjamin type kind of like
Yeah, his cleans were all
deeper
over the
stuff.
place, like very good in a good way. Like lots of different stuff in there.
Of course, there was still the goth and like the
Yeah,
Marilyn Manson
very
type
orgy.
Of course, they're gonna keep that in there.
Yeah,
They're never gonna get rid of that.
that's their thing. That's kind of the aesthetic.
I feel like that's one thing that gets a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
outside viewers.
Yeah, metalcore
So
with
yeah, that was pretty good.
yeah.
I definitely liked it a lot more than Infamous.
Yeah, which is funny because because I'm in one of the like Facebook groups for Motionless in White, and I see a lot of people like comparing the two albums and saying, because I mean a couple of these songs are literally like basically sequels to songs off of Infamous, and people always I've seen people list their like top 10 songs of Motionless in White, and a lot of them are from that album, and it was an okay album. It wasn't anything special for me. I thought it was I think I gave it a 6 out of 10. It was like it was okay. And this compared to that, even not even compared to that, I think this album is I thought this was pretty great. It was a pretty great album, to be honest. Okay, so for my notes, yeah, very strong start to the album. The first half of the album was like damn near perfect. Like if the rest of the album sounded exactly like that, this album probably could have hit like a 10, 9. It still might get a 9. I don't know. I mean, I'm very close. Like it's very high up there. Yeah, very strong vocals. Vocals were probably the big focal point. That and the electronics. Um, Jordan already covered pretty much everything I was gonna say about that. His screams did all different kinds of styles in here. Stuff I've never heard from him before personally. I mean, I can't say I've listened to their entire discography, but a lot of it was a huge surprise to me. Even with the cleans, some of the cleans were some very good cleans in there. I thought his all of his vocals were great. And the electronics basically the same. Lots of really cool synth in there. Nice little filler stuff just in the background, little creepy notes and stuff. And then we had full on like werewolf, full on like synthwave, lots of synth. But yes, very very strong synth. Loved all that too. Mostly that was it. Lots of the production very strong, super strong. I'd say my favorite songs on there were Werewolf, of course. Super synthwave. They got me in right on the hook with that one, and then Slaughterhouse, of course. You got the heaviness of Immaculate Misconception. That's everything that I look for when I listen to Emotionless in White. I like that craziness. Weak songs, that We Become the Night, and Red, White, and Boom. Honestly, that might piss some people off.
Yeah.
Red, White, and Boom was basically the sequel to America. I didn't like America very much either. And it's funny because Red, White, and Boom and We Become the Night both have the same vibe well, it's got the like 50s snap in there and the little goth, rockabilly. That's what I'm trying to kind of think of. It's got that kind of a little bit of that feeling in there. Caleb didn't do anything special. I don't think. I was fine with just Chris doing his Chris stuff. So if I had to take off any songs on the album, probably We Become the Night over Red, White, and Boom. You could leave Red, White, and Boom on there maybe, but it is a 50-minute album, so I could have lost one of those.
Yep. Both of them.
But other than that, the rest of the album, I think really made up for it. A lot of this was really good. Like I really liked a lot of this album, which is I surprised me over listening, through the Infamous album. So, rating wise, Jordan, what would you rate this?
I'll give it an 8. It was pretty good, pretty up there.
8, yeah. That's See, I'm stuck. I feel like I'm in between an 8 and a 9 right now. I guess I'll give it an 8. I don't like doing decimals. I want to give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. I think it did have some low points. I think even if they fix those, I don't know if I would give it a 10, but I think just for how much range was in his vocals, how much, like, there were parts in here that just really got me going. I liked a lot of this, a lot. I'll definitely be putting some of these songs on a playlist, putting them in there. Some of them I'll definitely skip over, sadly. But I think it was still very fun, and I think, you know, this could be. We're gonna have to listen to some more albums, but this could be in my top 5. It could be at least top 10. So, but I liked it a lot. I really did. I think they did a great job. I honestly, I might say that I might listen to more of this than I would Welcome to Horrorwood, Silver Screen Part 2, the Einstein Kills album. I think I would listen to. I think I liked a lot of this even more than I liked that. Yeah, this was damn good. Great job, Motionless in White.